What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Shani, and welcome back to the Woman's Palace. So today, I want to talk about the difference between being book smart and smart. Okay, and I say this because I just did a video on the 3 side effects of conforming to the world, right? And one I said is being mentally ill, and I want to kind of go deeper into this because a lot of people will probably assume that, oh, I'm smart, I got degrees, I got PhDs, I got this. And let me put this disclaimer out here. Anybody got PhDs, degrees, I'm not knocking that. I'm all for degrees. I'm all for getting your education. Like, congratulations. Yeah, I'm not knocking that, but I'm just putting that out there to be able to give your mind to understand the difference between the two. Okay, so it's easy. It is very well, let me not say it's very easy, but it is easy for you to be able to get an answer to a question that the book provides. Now, let me say that again, or say it in a different way. When you have a book, okay, when a class or a teacher give you a book or a lesson plan that is filled with the answers, all you have to do is read the book to get the answers. You don't really use your brain. You know, you read, okay, this is the answer, I got the answer, right? So you're not really using your brain. As far as into you have a problem that does not have a book, that requires you to use your brain to come up with the answer. See, God had to make me realize, he said that all the answers are within you. All you have to do is go within, right? Which means you have to use your brain to go within and seek it, right? Okay, so we live in a world that people feel they're smart because they have a degree, because they pass the curriculums of a book. They gave you a book. The book has the answers. Go read this book, answer the questions, take the test, and you got a degree. Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm smart. I got a PhD. Okay, but your brain should be able to work without a book. And I say this to say, you can't put in, oh, because I'm book smart or I have a degree, that I'm smart. And I mean life smart. Like, you feel me? A lot of people are ignorant and they have degrees. And when I say ignorant, the way they think, God says the way of this world, the things of this world is foolish in his eyes. And you have to be able to understand that people can be book smart and retarded in real life. Like, I mean, in spiritual life, like as in their actions and what they do. And I'm just letting it be known, because a lot of people feel like, oh, because I may not be conformed to the world because I have these degrees. I have a doctor's degree. And I heard this from Pastor R.C. Blakes. He said, it's women out here that got PhDs and they crying over people with GEDs. Now, I kind of have to break this down, because I'm like, you know, what type of person that has all this knowledge, right, has graduated to this type of knowledge, to be don't have the comprehension to be worried about somebody who ain't even got the bare minimum knowledge? It's because book smart and comprehension smart, or the way God has designed us to use our brain. See, when you don't use full percentage of your brain, you not smart. Okay. And I don't mean to say this, because we all must be ignorant before we be wise. That's in the book. That's in the Bible. It says that if a man thinks he's wise, let him first be a fool. So you need to be a fool to become wise. But some people don't use their foolish things to be able to come wise. They stay foolish because in the world's way of saying, oh, I'm smart because I have a degree, I'm smart because I have go to school. Newsflash, everybody go to school. And everybody wants upon pass. It's just if they want to be able to take that time to read the book to get the answers to a curriculum to pass what the world's way of smart is. You got to understand what I had to realize. This Satan is the god of this world. So evil runs this world. So Satan wants us to be stupid. Like, Satan wants us to be ignorant. So in a way, how can you feel that a world that is ran off evil want to put you in a position to be smart? I want you to think about that, because I really had to think about that. Like, come on now. You think a world that is ran by evil, an evil spirit, wants you to put you in a position to really be smart, to make logical decisions for yourself. outside of school, because we're not talking about school. See, the real school is outside of school. People think the real school is inside of school, learning your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s, baby. That's not school. Real school is your experiences, what you go through in life. That's your real experiences, but they don't want to tell you that. But that's besides the point. I want you to be able to understand that book smart is not the same as regular smart. People have PhDs and they are illiterate. And I mean what I say. And I don't care how nobody feel about it, because you got to understand that if a person doesn't have the comprehension to be able to maneuver in their life on what God says the laws is, and they're stuck in the cycle and the stronghold of the enemy, but they feel they waving they little paper saying I have a PhD, I'm so smart. How are you so smart, but yet you're still in the trap of the enemy? And this is why I say you conform to the world, because the world is go to school, and as long as you pass and get your GED, and I'm not saying it's not work. Like I said, I'm not here to knock nobody with no degrees. I'm actually going to school to be a psychiatrist. So I'm not knocking that. But I do want you to be able to realize that you don't put yourself in the category or feel like a school can define your smartness, can define who you really are and what you really hold within you. Because like I said, it's a whole bunch of dummies in school. Okay. And I mean it. Like, y'all don't even understand that people don't even need to use their brain to read a book. You can get an answer. How are you using your brain when you can read a book to get the answers? To use your real brain is to be able to solve a problem without a book. See, what I had to realize, I feel like the greatest thing God gave us was a brain. And a lot of people don't use their brain because we live in a world that want to confine your brain. Like I said, put a box over it so it doesn't want you to think. So of course they're going to put you in a school that doesn't allow you to think, but rather give you the answers, but just put it in a book and make you think that you are learning when you are not learning. You are reading something, and you're reading something that's giving you the answer, and all you got to do is put it on paper. You get an A, go to the next grade. No, God designed us to use our brain, and that's why he gave us a brain. But see, you got to be able to take yourself outside the box and explore more. If it's a question, if it's a problem, we're not even talking about a question. Let's say a problem. Can your mind articulate? Can your mind comprehend? How am I about to solve this problem? Do you have problem solving skills? See, what I have to realize, a lot of people do not have problem solving skills. Like, when I woke up, I was amazed. And it's crazy to me how when I was in the world, I thought people were so smart. I thought when you wake up in the real world, to the real world that we live in, and you be like, hold on, it's a whole bunch of people out here that's really not, they don't got it there. They screws is not there. And this is not to knock nobody, because like I said, we all once upon a time was ignorant. You have to be ignorant to become wise. But like I said, it comes back to a point. You got to wake up to know, you know what? Maybe I am a little foolish, and I'm baby, I am not ashamed to say I've been ignorant before. But see, what I had to realize, instead of being hard on myself, I had to realize, you know what? I needed that so I can be able to wake up to, that ain't the right way to go. That's a stupid way of thinking. How long will I be ignorant? But see, when you be able to, this is why I say conforming to the world. You're conforming to the world, as in the world tells you smart because you got a degree. Baby. And then this goes back to R.C. Blake's. How is a woman with this much knowledge and went to school for a PhD worried about a man that is not on her comprehension level? The world's way. How are you crying? How are you letting this man, because really when you think about it, it's manipulation. This man is manipulating her mind to be able to play her. And she had got a PhD. You got this much education, and you let a GED man manipulate your mind to play you. See, what I had to realize, that shows that's not your mind. How are you thinking? How did your brain, because you weren't using your brain. You weren't using your brain. You was in a school system that was designed by the enemy to make you think that you were using your brain, but you weren't. You weren't. And that's not to knock nobody. Like I keep saying, because I don't want nobody to take this offensive. I just want you to be able to take your mind outside of a box and realize that the world plays you. The world makes you feel like you're smart, but really, you ain't that smart. And that's not say that you cannot become smart. Because like I said, you got to be foolish to become wise. But are you going to wake up to be, you know what, I've been ignorant. You know what, let me start to use my brain. All I'm about is opening your mind. Like, that's one thing God is making me realize. I feel like my gift is perspective, changing your perspective, making you realize something you maybe never even thought of. And this is what I was, because when I thought about it, a lot of people are so on the looks. Oh, she looked good. He looked good. And you know what really blows my mind? And I've been there and done that. When somebody gotta look good, oh, he looked good for my pictures. He looked good for my pictures. Like, we would have a bomb little picture. And this man can't think worth nothing. And then what God had to make me realize, like, our bodies, you know, they get old, they get wrinkly. So then, like, if you put up with this man and you get stuck with this man or this woman, and by the time your body get old, you sitting up with a dumb person that can't think worth nothing, and you wonder why your life is falling apart, because you don't have somebody that has the problem solving skills, or that can use their brain, use more percentage of their brain, or even not even use, because like I said in the other video, if you have not watched that video, go watch that video, because it's 3 side effects of what happens when you conform to this world. You know, you don't use the percentage of your brain, nor do your brain work, okay? Because that's another thing. But I say this to say, understand the world's way of smart is not that's not God's way of smart. Okay? You got to be able to use your brain and understand that you should be able to problem solve, answer questions without a book. Like, it's some questions that it's not in no book. It's only way you can find it is if you go within, but that would require you to use your brain. And some people be like, "Oh, I'm not using my brain. It don't have a book. It's not meant for me to know." But that's how the world trained you. And I just want you to be able to realize, you know what? This world is ran by an evil spirit. So I need to not believe everything of this world. And that's what I really want you to get into your mind. Don't believe everything of this world. Don't believe everything in their systems and all this other type of stuff. You got to be able to get into the word of God and see what God says about it, because God made you. And like I said, I feel, this is my opinion, the greatest thing God could have gave us was a brain. But you won't know that until you use your brain. So I always say, open your mind to more. Just open your mind to more. You don't even have to believe what I say, because we all are human and we're not all going to agree. And I'm fine with that, you know. But I always say, be able to open your mind to more. Seek God on your own. Seek answers to a higher source. Be able to realize how somebody can have. Because that's what really, when R.C. Blake told me that, it kind of like, I had to sit with that, because I'm like, I done been there. Like, you feel me? I would have a trade, or, you know, you have more education wise than a man, but yet the education play you. And I had to realize that you're not as smart as you think, and that's fine. You know, one thing I always have to realize, what God made me realize, sometimes you got to identify where you are and accept it so you can move forward. It's not always about being hard on yourself, or I'm so stupid. Like I said, you got to be stupid before you become wise, and that's okay. But you got to be able to realize, okay, I'm not as smart as I think I am with a PhD, because I let a man with no knowledge as me, manipulate my mind to be able to play me, you know? And that's just, like I said, it's all about realization. Maybe I wasn't using all of my brain power. Maybe I was confined to a box, but the world way was read a book and answer these questions, and you pass the test and you get your degree. You know, you got to be able to know it's more to life than just school. And I say that to say, you got to be able to learn on your own, self-education. See, let me tell you, school ain't never taught me what I learned now. God did. Seeking within myself, this knowledge that I'm gaining within myself is all from God, all from the Bible, baby. It's not from school. School ain't taught me nothing but ABC, 1, 2, 3, and a couple digits, okay? And a couple pronouns and nouns that I don't even use. So I say this to say, please understand that book smart and being smart is 2 different things. It's easy for you to be book smart. Anybody can be book smart because they can read a book and get some answers. It's different when you have to use your brain to be able to problem solve, okay? So know the difference and understand that I'm never here knocking nobody. We are all on a journey together. We are all elevating. We are all learning. We are all growing. My job here is to be able to make it come to your consciousness. You know what? that does kind of sound right. You know, maybe I need to open my mind to more. Maybe am I using all of my brain power? Because how did I let that happen? How is certain things happening in my life when I run my life? You know, everything, the brain, your life is a reflection of your brain. You need to be able to realize what's in your brain. You're not as smart as you think, and that's what God made me realize. Even with knowing some stuff, still learning, I'm still growing. But guess what? You become wise when you realize that you've been a fool. So like I always say, go out and be a light in this dark world. Continue to strive and know the difference between being book smart and being smart.